Welcome to Upstride, the place where people who think bigger come to build bigger. Hey, welcome back. Today's video is a little different. If you're serious about improving your financial life, this one might hit a bit harder than usual. We're going to break down 15 habits that quietly keep people stuck, and more importantly, how changing the way you think can completely shift your direction. Before we start, take this as perspective, not an attack. Some people will disagree, and that's completely fine. But the ones who actually grow are the ones who pause, reflect, and adjust. To build something valuable for you, we've looked at patterns, real-world behaviors, and insights from people who've already built wealth. Of course, there are always exceptions. Not everything is fully in your control. But being aware of these habits might give you an edge. And who knows, if you stop doing even a few of them, you might get closer to the life you've been aiming for. Let's get into it. Number 1 is, poor people consume too much entertainment. Let's be honest, if you always have time for celebrity gossip, binge-watching shows, or staying glued to the news every day, that's a problem. It's surprising how much time gets wasted on content that adds nothing to your life. It pulls you in and keeps you distracted. If you know which celebrity is dating who, follow every episode as it drops, and have a favorite news channel, chances are you're spending way too much time consuming instead of building. And that explains a lot about why things aren't moving forward. Most of this content doesn't benefit you at all. It only benefits the people creating it. Wealthy individuals aim to be the ones creating value, not just consuming it. You might say, "It helps me relax." And sure, sometimes that's true. But if your main escape is disconnecting from your problems instead of solving them, you're just delaying progress. There's a difference between resting and avoiding. Even staying informed through constant news isn't as helpful as it seems. Most media outlets are biased toward their own agenda. Instead, get a quick update online, then move on and focus on your own work. Number 2, poor people ignore their health. Health plays a bigger role than most people realize. A lot of people don't care what they eat, don't understand nutrition, and regularly overload their bodies with sugar, processed food, and empty calories. They're literally damaging their own bodies, and then wondering why they feel tired, unmotivated, or stuck. When your health is off, everything suffers. Your focus drops, your energy crashes, your performance declines, even your relationships can be affected. If your body isn't functioning at its best, neither are you. Number 3. Poor people chase discounts instead of income. Saving money isn't the issue. Thinking small is. When your mindset is always focused on getting things cheaper, you're stuck playing defense. Wealthy people think differently. They focus on increasing income instead of just reducing expenses. Instead of asking, "How can I save $10?" they ask, "How can I make $1,000? That shift in thinking changes everything. Number 4. Poor people waste their early years. Time is your biggest advantage, especially when you're young. People who delay learning, wake up late, and spend years doing nothing meaningful often pay for it later. At some point, life forces them to work harder just to survive. Meanwhile, those who invest early in skills, knowledge, and growth build momentum that carries them forward. Almost every successful person, from entrepreneurs to investors, used their early years wisely. Number 5. Poor people are spectators, not players. Watching sports isn't the issue. Living like a spectator is. When you spend hours watching others compete, win, and succeed while doing nothing yourself, that mindset starts to carry into real life. You begin to observe instead of act, and over time, that becomes your identity. Number 6. Poor people neglect personal hygiene. It might sound basic, but it matters more than people think. We live in a world where perception influences opportunity. If people don't feel comfortable around you, they won't trust you, work with you, or invest in you. Success often begins with simple discipline, and how you present yourself is part of that. Number 7. Poor people blame everything but themselves. This is one of the biggest differences. When things go wrong, poor people look for someone to blame. Successful people look for something to learn. You can't control everything, but you can control your response. Taking responsibility gives you power. Avoiding it keeps you stuck. Number 8. Poor people don't prepare for the future. No savings means no flexibility. When something goes wrong and you have nothing set aside, you're forced into bad decisions, selling assets, taking loans, or falling behind. But when you're prepared, you stay in control. Even better, when opportunities show up, you're ready to act. That's how wealth compounds over time. Number 9. Poor people misuse credit. Credit itself isn't bad. Misuse is. If you're borrowing money for things that don't create value, you're digging a hole. Expensive phones, luxury items, unnecessary upgrades, all bought on credit. That's a trap. Wealthy people use credit strategically to invest, to grow, to multiply, not to impress others. Number 10. Poor people take on big responsibilities too early. Life decisions, especially financial ones, matter a lot. Many people take on responsibilities they're not ready for, and it locks them into survival mode. Wealthy individuals usually delay major commitments until they have stability. Because once you're struggling just to stay afloat, growth becomes extremely difficult. Number 11. Poor people avoid regular health checkups. Ignoring your health doesn't save money. It delays problems. And delayed problems turn into expensive problems. Catching issues early saves money, stress, and sometimes your life. Neglecting it can cost everything. Number 12. Poor people spend money they don't have. Living ahead of your income is one of the fastest ways to stay broke. The moment you start buying things before you can afford them, you create pressure instead of progress. Simple rule. If you can't comfortably afford it, you don't need it yet. Earn first, spend later. Number 13. Poor people stay in the wrong environment. Your environment shapes your thinking. If you're surrounded by people who complain, avoid growth, and settle for less, that becomes your normal. You start thinking like them. But when you're around people who are building, learning, and pushing forward, you grow faster. Sometimes growth requires distance. Number 14. Poor people never act on their ideas. Ideas are worthless without execution. Everyone has ideas. Almost no one follows through. Success doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Testing, failing, improving, and repeating. The biggest failure isn't a failed business. It's never starting at all. Number 15. Poor people expect help instead of taking control. No one is coming to fix your life. The world rewards action, not intention. The people who succeed are the ones who adapt, learn, improve, and keep going, even when it's hard. You might get support along the way, but the responsibility is always yours. We know this one was intense, but if even one point made you stop and think, that's already progress. Now tell us, which of these do you see most often? And what would you add to this list? And since you made it this far, here's something worth thinking about. People who rely only on external forces to change their lives often stay stuck. while those who take ownership, even when it's uncomfortable, are the ones who actually move forward. If you're serious about building a better future, type this in the comments. I will level up. Make it real. Subscribe to Upstride for more content on making money, building skills, and creating real opportunities. We'll see you in the next one.